sounds.
Maybe we need sound.
Okay,
Basically,
maybe we need
3 out of
sound.
5 of us are having technical problems.
There we go. As I was explaining. Thank you for letting us know. As I was explaining, we've been swapping around who's been running the stream, and now I've swapped back, I'm in charge again, and OBS decided that all of my settings should be wrong.
Classic.
We're here. I think everyone can be heard. I'm going to have to do some sound balancing on the fly, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
What makes it exciting?
Are we all in the right boxes? We are all in the right boxes still.
Good start.
Before anything else goes wrong, I'm just going to run the titles. And we're back. There was sound on the titles, I think. It sounded like there was sound from my end. I've forgotten how to start. We're playing Numenera.
Yeah.
We're playing Numenera. And last time, that's where we start. We start with last time. We dealt with the Kaffa Nest. Finally.
Really well. Really well. No problems.
Nobody
Plan
got
went
hurt.
off flawlessly. And I don't think we need to go into it really yet.
First half of the plan went off flawlessly, but that was 2 weeks ago. Last week, Mazia had her mind swapped with something inside of this Kaffa Nest. A hole in the reality that seemed to contain some consciousness. Consciousnesses. These things which were swapping or hitching rides on the Quover, these little fox-like creatures. Trenton was left all alone and pulled the Mazia without Mazia's brain out. There was a lot of confusing terminology we came up with. I think this was Mazia body, right?
Yeah.
That was the terminology. Took Mazia body back out to the team. Yeah. And brought her back out and then claimed to know nothing about what happened.
Just happened. It just happened.
It just happened.
Meanwhile, Letty managed to finally work up the required. Wow, I've lost all words today.
Excellent.
Don't need words.
Speaking of mental fortitude.
Yeah,
We've got Ed body.
yeah. Sorry,
Okay, who got odd mind?
loads of stuff is changing at work, all the time, and that's all my brain is doing at the moment. We currently don't have a manager. We're a self-managing team for a bit. Anyway,
Oh, exciting.
so that's
Very progressive.
yeah. Where was I? This is thoroughly embarrassing.
Letty mind was trying to get back into Letty body.
And
Yes.
managed it.
And managed by pretending it was a 3-card Monty and breaking in the back window, knowing your own mind so well that you pushed on one side and knew which would be left. So you snuck in there and pushed one of them out. You still had a passenger, but you at least had control of your own body back.
Feels good, right?
It feels nice to not be possessed and also live in a monkey fox creature.
I liked you, Foxy.
It
He's still
was
foxy,
fun.
don't worry.
never stopped.
That's true.
At which point, you all decided that you should probably all go in and sort this out. Very quietly with your smoking device, calmed all of these Kaffir. Trenton, being so well trodden in this, didn't even have to roll several natural 20s at some point. But the rest of you managing to sneak in without disturbing any of them. And you found yourself in the central chamber again, where the Queen resided, and this hole in the universe. There was a fair amount of work to try and get Mazia back in her own body. Clegy was giving some help with that. And there was a lot. You managed it. That was the order happened. You managed it. Bringing Mazia back from the beyond and returning with whatever creature it was that was inhabiting her body back to its calm, restful home. Mazia, feeling very rested, got very exuberant, very excited, and forgot she was in a Kaffir nest.
No, I think you'll find actually by this point, someone had already just grabbed the Queen and was legging it down the corridor. I did not cause this. For once, I did not cause this.
I think what actually happened is I started shouting at you for being so irresponsible. And
Yeah, no, that was it.
It was definitely shouting, and I definitely did a GM intrusion for that. I can't remember who I did it against, but there was a GM intrusion where all the Kaffir were getting agitated by the noise. They started swarming, and as he said, Letty just picked up the Queen and zoomed out the door. Wow, I've lost it again. Clegy. Clegy was still trying to get someone back in their proper body at that point, and took a fair amount of time. That was it. Mazia was inside Clegy's head.
Yeah.
That was it.
we do a lot of body swapping around here.
It's very hard to keep track.
Yeah, it's nearly future armor levels, but there wasn't any restrictions on how many times you could swap, so we didn't actually have to do the bloody maths.
Thank God.
So yes, Clegy managed to push Mazia back out into her own body
Thank God.
while the swarm was going on, and then Clegy just took off out the door after Letty. Turns out Clegy can run quite a bit faster than Letty, and so there was a handoff, like a rugby handoff of this like cat-sized bug, the Queen, and Clegy took it out the door. Meanwhile, in the central chamber, there were a couple of rounds of trying to defeat some of these swarms, but there were so many that it was pretty ineffectual. So Trenton, having studied these quite extensively and spent a lot of time down here, figured out a way to hide himself and Mazia under a cloak, smoke around you, making as little noise, little vibrations as possible, and being ignored by the swarm, which then turned their attentions to the Queen, who is swiftly leaving. Out the door, Clegy and Letty stumbled out through the exit, where you had laid a lightning trap, a wall of lightning, which you told your
Arvid.
Can't remember.
Oh,
his name,
guys.
but that's it. Yeah.
the word I'm looking for is ally. That wasn't the word I was looking for, but that will do. Your ally Arvid to turn on as soon as you were out the door. where all the following beetles just threw a bug zapper, landing in a small pile of glittering gold bugs, ready to be shoveled into boxes and taken on and sold in a city.
It's almost like we planned it.
Almost like you planned it.
You said we didn't have a plan. Oh,
I never
And
said
I think
you
you're fine.
didn't
He
have
said,
a plan.
yeah, he said we didn't have a good plan.
alright, that's fair.
Or
That's
we
fair.
didn't
That's
have a
really
whole
fair.
complete.
Yeah.
Complete plan was the one I was getting at mostly.
That's fair.
But yes,
You can't plan for Mazia and Trenton though. That's the problem.
And
I mean-
you let us go in alone.
I know,
It's
and
your
I didn't-
fault.
Kliji did not tell you to not touch anything. That's all Kliji's fault. Okay, Kliji's going to accept that.
This is all Kleegee's fault, really.
Yeah, really.
Clegy
so,
did
I
this.
think so.
so collecting up these Kaffa, putting them into boxes, we're going to narrate our way to the next bit, because there's not too much cleanup to be done here. You come back to the underground home where Arvid and his family live, bringing your goods. The rest
Is
of the
Martha-
family.
Is Martha proud of us?
Matilda.
I did that for
Genuinely.
Donny!
Okay.
We
I
honor
just thought it was
Moira.
catching.
Moira.
Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah, Moira.
Thing is, I was just about to say Matilda, and I was genuinely thoroughly confused as to who Martha was. Matilda and the rest of the family return with the large bent logs, which they could sell on to boat makers. Pre-bent wood is very useful in boat making, turns out. And they seem, well, the family seems pretty pleased at your haul, and Matilda is begrudgingly gives you a nod. Over the next week or so of travel, she does thaw out. You have saved her life several times and brought her large amounts of profit. She's not necessarily forgiven you for the whole prisoner pretending to be a free, not mentioning the prisoner thing, but she's at least come around to the idea that you're not going to ruin everything.
That's a bold
hopefully-
assumption.
I was going to say that's the worst assumption to make.
You're not going to
I'm
ruin
very
everything
responsible.
by stealing everything.
And at least hopefully she realizes that we are on her side and working with her and
Yeah.
useful as well.
Yes. Yeah, and your interaction with various other things in the world, specifically these Quover, when she hears the story from Arvid about it, or maybe from you, she seems to realize that, yeah, you're not a common criminal bunch. Like, you're not. You care.
Yeah.
Letty would have been insulted to have been called a common criminal.
That's fair. Letty is one of those very rarefied criminals. Not many criminals you know can fly up in the sky and walk on walls. Several can, but not many.
At least only no more than 3.
No
I
more than
feel
3.
like.
Maybe 4, but that might have been a heavy night instead. Anyway. Your path takes you ever onwards, and you are reaching the edge of the beyond, this area of unincorporated townships, of vast areas of nobody around for a long while, lots of strange things, and you're coming up to the Black Riage, this huge mountain range that splits the Steadfast, these civilized places, the kingdoms and the duchies and the organized cities, the large towns from the beyond. There are several ways to get through the Riage, several passes, and the nearest one to you is called Cedrin's Pass. It is the southernmost pass through the Black Riage, and it is one of the safer ones. It doesn't go quite as high as some of the others. The mountains get very, very tall the more northerly you go. So that is why Matilda has led the whole caravan south through this pass. You come to a pretty large town at the mouth of this pass. There's a bustling township full of traders and full of guides and full of inns and taverns and all sorts of sounds and sights and smells. It's been a long time since you've been in a big town like this. The last time will have been just outside of the Clock of Carla months ago at this point. And so it's good, but strange to be around so many people again. You can hear the shouting of traders in the streets, you can hear animals, you can smell all sorts of strange things. And Matilda, looking around, is keeping her family close and her eyes on her wagons. She warns you, there are people around who might want to grab something, so keep an eye out, right? We're staying
Talking about Letty. No, she won't.
No. We'll deal with that later. It doesn't matter. We're staying a night here.
Selling the Kaffers here.
No, the Kaffers we're gonna sell in Key. It should be a nice safe market. Lots of jewelers in Key who want some of this. So we're staying a night. We've already got it sorted. We've got a regular place we stay here, and they were expecting us soonish, so they should have space for us. We've got a guide who's going to be taking us through the through Cedrin's Pass tomorrow. So wrap up warm. It's going to be chilly. And she gives you a nod and leads the caravan on. I've forgotten the name of the things that pull the carts. I should know this. Let's look at my incidental music because I've got the Calyptor. Are drawing gazes from all around. They're not the most unusual thing here, but they are definitely rarer than a lot of the other beasts of burden you see around. You see a lot of anine, these two-legged, very tall, muscular things which pull carts. But your Calyptor are singular in this town.
What is the name of the town?
The town is called Sharash. Sharash. So you have an evening to yourselves before the morning cutting through the mountains. Another week's journey through the mountains.
Can Mazias try and find someone who knows anything about the mountains? She's looking for not necessarily the historical, like she might find a map, she might find some geography, but she's slightly more interested in sort of folk tales about it and unusual goings on, whether fictitious or not.
There's absolutely no need to roll because everyone in this town has a story.
Oh, good.
Every inn, there is stories being told of the strange things that happen on the pass, most of which sound like nonsense to you.
Good.
I will take a roll to see if you can pick out which things might be relevant
Right.
from various explorers who've come through.
I don't think I have anything that I can use for this.
It's an intellect, in case you didn't guess.
In which case, I do get a free edge.
Very nice.
Sorry,
Free
free
effort.
point of effort. So
Cool,
that
it's
is
just difficulty
17.
4. So yeah. Very easily picking out who's exaggerating and how much they're exaggerating. There are stories about an organised militia called the Steel Star, who have been camping up in the in Cedrin's Pass. They seem to be letting traders and people pass, but anyone who is any sort of official from the town, they are taking all of their documents, all of their money, all of their seals, and sending them back. Meaning that the town is a little worried about the things they might be sending across the Riage to the other town on the other end. A place called something else. Threest would be the nearest town on the other side. More of a city than a town, actually, Threest. And not right at the mouth of the pass, a little further away, on the River Septim. Which is indeed your original goal. Your original goal. Your goal to get there, and then you'll take the River Septim out to sea. There's stories about purple flowers. People talking about purple flowers and then going... Well, they say missing for hours, but some people say missing for days, and some people say never come back. Where they're getting the stories of these
Mazia hears purple
flowers.
plant, and she's just like, oh, not more purple.
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
Oh,
we're missing a.
Oh,
there we go.
no.
No, just a video. Just a video.
All right.
Yeah. Don't worry. Pay attention. Yeah, so the Steel Star is the kind of the major thing that people are talking about. There's a lot of tension about that, and that does mean that there are a lot of explorers who are guaranteeing safe passage, even though you could do that without an explorer, without a guide. They would just ignore you if you hadn't got any official documents on you. So yeah, you spend your evening in inns, in taverns, in marketplaces, in rows of explorers and guides, sharing stories and figuring out what's going on. I'm going to count this as your familiarization of the area.
Excellent.
You've
Thank you very
spent
much.
time learning about it, learning the terrain, the people, the wildlife. So you will get an asset on everything you try and do there.
Thank you very much.
What's everyone else doing?
I want to get a hat with ear flaps.
Oh
My
yeah.
ears warm in the cold. I want to get a really nice warm scarf, a really long warm scarf, yellow, preferably, and some boots. And I'm going to try like sturdy boots. And then if there's any more time, I'm going to spend it trying to make the boots do what my shoes do. And have boots versions of my shoes. That's going to be pretty much my evening, I think.
Yeah. There are so many people selling warm clothes, all obviously handmade, beautiful artisan things. You reckon there's probably someone who's got a replicator, because a lot of these look very similar. There's some machine somewhere
As long as they
pumping
work,
these out.
it's fine.
They work,
Yeah.
and a shin will get you, hat, scarf, and boots. That'll do.
Okay. Well, what I might do is I might do what apparently I have 4 ships. And I'm going to do what Letty did in the last place and just get a round of clothes for everybody.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get all the set, like matching.
Aww.
Yeah, like a uniform. I like that. I like
Matching,
uniformity. Yeah. So, yeah, everyone's got yellow hats, scarves, not yellow boots. That's silly. Woolly socks, big woolly socks.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, Trenton comes back to the little apartment that Matilda has organised. It is an annex to a much larger kind of inn and tavern. That's kind of a self-contained unit with a common room and rooms for everyone. And yeah, Trenton comes back, bundles of scarves and hats for everyone, and then proceeds to sit in the corner and take apart his shoes and take apart these boots and start just putting parts over and just copying bits and pieces. I'm just going to call this a difficulty 5 roll.
Whoa. Okay. Repairing, specialized in electrical machines.
Yep.
I have understanding Numenera, which is the shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I have repairing, which will go some way to the boots, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Difficulty
I've
2
got my
then.
specialized tools, and I get a 7.
7 for a difficulty 2 is just good enough. So yeah,
Might take all night.
it might take all night, and you're not entirely sure how waterproof the boots are anymore, but they do make the sound.
And they look great, so.
They do. That's. I'm going
they
for
do.
style over function. Top half can stay warm. The woolly socks can look after anything else.
Yeah.
I imagine part of the reason it took you a while to get it done is that halfway through it was like midnight. We just kicked you out because of all the flashing lights.
Watching like the ducks quacking and the baby crying at midnight. Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah,
Sure.
not everyone's favourite sounds, but yeah. Right. Letty, Clegy, do you have some plans?
Letty would ordinarily take the opportunity to go out and try and feel out. This feels like a more bustling place than many of the places we've been to, so she would normally go out and try and find some sort of underworld contact, see what's up, see what's shaking,
Yeah.
Get boots on the ground, but she's still a bit shaken from how close she came to getting killed by beetles. I was down to very low HP last time. She's very
It was
beaten up.
close.
She's quite fragile. So she's been over the last few. I guess it took us a couple of weeks to get here, did it?
Yeah.
She's been refining a few techniques. She's been doing some push-ups, real ones, as opposed to letting the her natural affinity for gravity just remove all need for walking around. It's been kind of tragic to watch. I feel like, and she's refining. She spends sort of the evening refining a version of her hovering ability, trying to find a new way to manipulate the nanites in the air. And she thinks she's finally cracked it, but it takes her. I think this is part of the reason why she kicks Trenton out, because she can work silently, but she's trying to concentrate. And she discovers how to. She gets the power of flight as part of her tier 5 upgrade.
Very nice.
True flight now.
True flight, not just kind of falling upwards.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very nice. Very nice indeed. Merrin, actually, the kid who has powers to negate Numenera stuff, spends a bit of time just sitting with you in the room you're practicing in, just watching, enjoying being around you again. It's been a while since he's had to use his powers, but he was definitely sulking for a bit after having to use his powers to save people. But yeah, he's coming back round and seems super hyped at you when you actually figure it out, when it happens, when you have full control. Yeah, clapping and signing congratulations and hoorays and all that. Yeah, he's having a good time.
That's lovely.
Kliji, what are you up to?
So Kliji would have initially gone to a tavern for a little me time, relaxing with a drink. But no doubt he would have heard about the Steel Star. Did you say they were called?
The Steel Star.
Yeah. And obviously, being the man that Kliji is, this emissary of the Council of Iron, he will go to the local, I guess, council offices, whatever the local officiary is, and first of all, we'll try and find out more information about what's been happening, and then secondly, find out if there's anything he can do to help bring official documents through the pass.
Interesting. Yeah. So
I feel like Mazia mentioned it to you in an offhand comment, and was just like, "Oh yeah." She sort of bumped into you, and she was like, "Oh yeah," and there's people like stopping the pass, and like part of a rant, and you just picked on this one thing, and like Mazia has absolutely no idea that she's just like sent you on your quest for the evening.
Report, come on. Out.
So yeah, how are you planning to get this job or?
Well,
So-
first of all, who is in charge of the town, I guess?
That's easy enough to find out. The governor is called Lord Asdrin. He is, the governor of this town. He's called a lord, but nobody really knows who made him lord. And you hear about his kind of slightly cruel, slightly selfish, almost tyrannical rule of this place, or attempt to rule this place, because a lot of the merchants don't pay him much mind. He's a little bit of a lame duck.
Right. Just before I go and talk to this person, I'm going to utilise Philo. I'm going to utilise Philo's grapevine virtuoso skill, which means he will try and source any sort of gossip. I'm going to ask him specifically about the Lord. Asdran, did you say?
Asdrin.
Asdrin, sorry. So Lord Asdrin specifically, and also about the Steel Star. And I will say, if he can find anyone who has contact with the Steel Star, I don't know what I will do. He's my follower. I will love him even more than I love him already.
I didn't know such a thing was possible.
It's not. It really isn't.
I can certainly try to drum up some interest. There are a few places I saw where they were selling some interesting things, and they may be able to talk. We will see. And he will waddle off into the town towards those interesting smells. For those of you who don't remember, Philo is kind of half penguin, half seal. A thing called a
Skeen gourmand.
Skeen.
She's a skeen.
Thank you. Skeane. A skeen.
I completely forgot for a moment that he's a penguin seal chef.
I think
With a French accent.
remember when we also forgot that and took him on like a tightrope or something.
Yeah.
It was a bridge, and yes, again, Kleji's fault.
Nimchek, by the way, actually goes with him. Nimchek and Philo seem to have become fast friends over the few months.
Good. Nimchet's got a friend. I will therefore head to Lord Ashdrin, please.
Yes, it's actually not too difficult to get an audience with him, mostly because nobody actually wants to speak with him, so he'll just take basically any audience he wants. And you are interesting, he says. I don't see many people like you around. What are you?
Well, it's a very complex question. I would say that I am mostly an emissary from the Council of Aeon, but I have this sort of what's the word? Been asked, not quite the right word, but been asked to lead a group of very skilled individuals in a task to help out one of the towns in the area that I was visiting. So I guess I'm an emissary and a team leader and apparently a merchant of some sort.
And
no, that's pretty much all I do.
no, not what you do, what you are.
What I am? I'm a human.
Oh,
I'm a human. Yes. Childhood injury, sort of remade, I guess, would be the short explanation.
Oh, I don't much care.
Oh, good.
But you are not automaton.
No.
Good.
Do you meet?
Do you have
meet
any?
many automatons?
Do you have sympathies towards automatons?
Well, when you say sympathies,
Would it stop you apprehending one?
well, depends what I'm apprehending one for.
Crimes.
Crimes are generally things to apprehend anything for, so that seems reasonable. Is there a specific crime you were thinking of?
Yes. The prevention of official documentation from reaching its intended source. Target.
Oh,
Cinta. The leader
Cinta.
of the Sidial Star.
Right.
She is an automaton, and her followers do not know it.
How do you know it?
Cinta was an employee.
Of.
Me.
And how did you acquire Cinta?
She came through, and I paid her like an employee.
Right. And you paid her to do what?
Keep the peace. And now she disturbs it.
Right.
You seem like an honest fellow. Somewhat.
I like to think so.
What would you say to apprehending this Cinta?
On the crime of.
Theft? Looking at official documents when you're not supposed... I don't know the terminology. They're doing bad things there.
Right. Do you not know... Okay, but she was in your employ.
Yes?
Did she have permission to look at official documents then?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes. She was a
And that's a
guard.
crime in this town, is it?
Well, when documentation is sealed, the only person who is meant to unseal it is the person it is addressed to.
Well, absolutely, but is that actually a crime in this town?
Yes.
There's a law
Yes.
written.
Probably.
I am most willing to talk with this Cinta and establish exactly what is going on. And if indeed there is a crime committed, I would be willing to assist in the apprehension of said Cinta.
Capital. The bounty is 800 shins.
800 shins for talking.
No,
To
for
your-
apprehending and bringing her back here.
Okay, and what will you do with her once you have her back?
For 800 shins, that should not be part of your concern.
800 shins it should not. Well, I'm feeling that it would take, I don't know, 1500 shins to make it not my concern.
Well, good luck to you.
With
Crossing the Black Riage.
oh, many thanks. Do you need any documents taking, by the way?
You're gonna have to roll for that one. 1500 was pushing it too far, but that one you'll have to roll some kind of persuasion.
I mean, I don't know if I want to persuade him now, to be honest. Actually, new skill, Clegy. Can Clegy use some insight to try and work out what he's doing,
Yeah. Yeah.
along with a sort of... I'm not going to call it pleasant. Let's just call it a social interaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that fair enough?
Yep. It's difficulty 5.
So that'll be down to 3. Oh, well, I've got a free level. So that's 2. I'll just roll. What's the worst that can happen? Oh, good. 8.
8. Very nice. He looks you up and down again. The last person with a metal face I entrusted with them looked at them.
Okay, well, but that was not me. I think you'll find that as an emissary of the Council of Iron, I know how to handle diplomatic papers and official requests.
Return here on the morrow. I shall have something for you.
I will do. Good evening.
Good evening.
Clegy will return to the lodging. Can anyone explain to me why we always find the worst people running these towns?
Because it tends to be that the worst people run towns.
Agreed. Hard agree. That's been my experience for quite a long time.
Mine, weirdly.
Remember the ink guy?
Oh yeah, he sucked.
He was the worst.
No. This one, I believe, is worse. First
Oh,
of
no.
all, has it in for a previous employee, and much worse, apparently is anti-automaton.
Didn't have a problem with you, did he?
Just wait a second. I throw down my boot. It's immoral. For a start. Maybe anti. Who is this person?
Lord Asdrin.
Now you've done it.
Never
I
mind.
haven't done
Make an
anything.
automaton.
I'm
Well,
worked up.
just out of curiosity, what sound did the shoe make when it landed on the ground?
Question. I don't know because I'm not on Twitch, so I can't.
Oh, Hermit will tell us in a minute. Hermit, just, I mean, I'm all for people in authority, but he seems particularly
The worst.
the worst. I feel there should be a stronger word, but yes, maybe.
Sorry, it's come up in the chat. When he threw that shoe down, it came up with the sound of a baby laughing.
It's just Trenton throwing a fit, and it's just like a little chuckle or something.
Cute. Cute and creepy.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I did find out is that Cinta is the automaton that he has an issue with, who was his previous employee, who apparently now runs the Steel Stars?
Oh yeah, I know all about them.
Excellent.
Stars.
I'm hoping Philo will be back. I sent him on a little, mission. What? Okay, it wasn't cooking. Why are you looking at me like that?
You're saying that we haven't got dinner tonight.
Um,
You're saying that Philo's not cooking dinner. Oh.
Not a dangerous mission, I hope.
not for Philo, no. Maybe for you.
Oh,
Having to talk to people. Wouldn't let you do that.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, that is very, very dangerous.
Mm. Yes.
He is very good at that.
So good. Anyway, yes, I hadn't thought about
Where
it.
have you sent him?
Oh, round and about. He does his stuff.
Round and about, and he does the stuff. Yeah.
Mm.
Excellent.
But-
What did this man offer you for the automaton? What did he want for it? What did he want of it?
So
better.
apparently the automaton has been interfering, reading official papers, which apparently is a crime, although I'm dubious as to actually whether it is a crime. And for the pleasure of apprehension, offered 800 shins.
800 shins. That's.
you've just changed Letty's mind.
I
That
mean,
is a lot.
they're selling out and they're selling out. That's a hefty. But who's the center? I want to make friends with her.
Well, indeed, I think we probably should, because I asked what he would do with said Cinta after apprehended, and it was none of my business. So I said, well, like, for 800 shins, it should be my business. If he didn't want it to be my business, he had to pay 1,500 shins. He was reluctant. Definitely bad form.
I was 300 shins at my most wanted. That's insane.
Really?
Yeah, it's just, wiping.
I feel
They
you were
weren't happy.
very undervalued. 300 shins?
I'll take it. I was like 16, 17. I was a junior member of the group.
What might you be worth now?
I've been in.
Just saying.
I'm a free citizen.
Now you're.
Well,
Yeah, but if, hypothetically, if someone was to put a bounty on your head, you must be more than this center. Letty, I would demand at least 2,000 for you. Just
I
saying.
think that's a compliment.
Take me out to
You're
dinner
that good.
first.
You're that good.
I mean, I don't disagree. The problem is that the Letty's skills are so unique and unknowable to the general populace that they will always undervalue her. So, I mean, maybe 400 if you did what you did before, maybe 600, but They just don't know you, Letty. That's the problem.
We could find out.
I'd rather not be on the wanted list again anytime soon. It makes it hard to move around. It wasn't the best time of my life.
Yes, we do have to come to that at some point when we go back to the Steadfast, don't we?
I don't think we do.
Let's shelve that conversation for another day. Yes. So I say, let's go and meet this Cinta because, well, they must be doing something right to so greatly irritate a jumped-up little godshite like Lord Asdin. So
Mizzie's just gonna sort of like lean back to Trent and she's gonna be like, I like this new collegiate.
did you say something?
He has a plan. And
I like Trenton's boots.
Yes.
Very fashionable.
I've only got
Yes.
one on at the moment. I just jump up and down.
Anyway,
Well, we're going through. Do you stay there at Cedrin's Pass, the Silver Star, the Steel Star? So we're going up there anyway.
They'll probably stop us. From what I've heard, they stop most people. If they don't have official papers, they don't seem to care much. But we don't have any official papers, but we could either make a point to get some official papers, or we could make a point just to talk to them anyway. I'm sure they wouldn't mind.
when you say we don't have official papers,
Am I meant to have official papers? Did someone give me official papers? No. No.
Mazia. No, not you.
Oh. Oh, good. Yeah, I didn't think so.
No. No, because that would have been foolish. No, I obviously carry the official papers.
Ah. Good.
Yes.
Good.
Gets the clipboard out. See? This is the Emiracy letter from the Council of Iron. This is the letter from Vathica. This is the permission to take you out. This is the permission to go searching for the Numenera object of our mission that was so long ago.
Still on the back of the car.
No, I wonder if we should check on that. That's
It's
probably
fine.
fine. It's probably fine.
It's there next to Nimchek's big tarp-covered thing.
We don't know what it is.
It was a battery of some kind.
It was a power source.
One
Power
that we had-
source. Basically a battery.
Technically a power transfer thing. The generator was back where you originally teleported from.
But yes, so I definitely have official paperwork, whether it's anything they'll be interested in. But I did offer Lord Asdin the passage of official documentation across the pass. So let's see what he comes up with on the morrow, shall we?
There'll be a little bit of chump change then, in the most literal sense of the word chump. That'll be alright. One thing I'm worried about is if we're going through the place that the 800 Shin bounty person's going through and she's leading a ragtag group of bandits, does it sound like people who are perhaps trespassing upon Lord Asdrun's patience, as impatient and squalid as that patience might be? We should probably get preparations in order just in case she's as good as the pay is.
And do we need to tell Matilda? I don't see what she needs to know, but this kind of feels like the sort of thing that she'd get very upset about again. And it was really very tense, and I didn't like it very much.
I think we should at least tell her that we're going through bandit territory and to be cautious of anyone who approaches. Because last time we kept an eye off her, she nearly turned into a tree, so...
She did look quite good as a tree, though.
Honestly, if I never see
disappointing.
anything purple again in my life, I'll be happy.
There are some purple flowers up there.
What?
Sorry, I should have mentioned that.
Purple flowers? What sort of purple flowers? Just pretty purple flowers, yeah? Just, they look nice.
Sure.
Excellent. Oh, okay. I don't have to look at them.
I'm gonna make.
No,
a
I will
badge
tell
that
Matilda
says-
because I'm doing it as an official, and that means I need to do it as official business. And I did not negotiate passage money for passage of the document. Oh, fine. I'll go and talk to Matilda. I'll take her with me tomorrow or something. She'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll do it in the morning.
Matilda wants to go tomorrow, doesn't she? She wants to go
Yeah.
Yeah,
back tomorrow.
yeah. It'll be fine. I'll tell her first thing in the morning. No point disturbing her now.
And worst comes to worst, if we've got a document belonging to our boy, the Lord Asdrin, and she said she's been reading documents that she's not been supposed to, we've got a bargaining chip. We've got a piece of bait we can give her.
Yes. Makes me wonder what will be on that message, but we'll worry about that tomorrow. Tomorrow.
I like this plan.
Honestly, where is Philo? I'm getting a bit peckish.
Philo doesn't turn up until very, very late, actually. And he comes back steaming. He's had a good night out on the town. He has found a lot of people who are angry with Lord Asdrin, and they've been buying each other drinks and just bitching about him the whole night. Nimchek left a little earlier and came home because Nimchek doesn't really like to alter his state. He doesn't like to have someone else alter his state. He likes to do it himself. But yeah, Philo.
Did he employ heavy liver use state today then?
Nimchek was actually mostly mental today because they knew they'd be in a town, so there'd be a lot of talkings, you know. So they were not ready for a heavy night. But Philo walks in and is wandering around the place, and you know, the four flaps of the fins are somewhat irregular, and he's jolly. He's having a good time. But you had questions you wanted answered, and I cannot remember what the questions are, but I am sure I have the answers for you.
Excellent. You look like you had a good time.
It was
You deserve it, Philo. It's been
unpleasant people, unpleasant drink, but pleasant results.
unpleasant people.
Yes.
Like Lord Asdrin?
Well, angry. They do not
Right.
make the best drinking partners, but we made the best of it.
So, about Lord Asdrin.
Oh, yes. He is a shit.
A shit. Oh, a shit. Yes, I concur. And?
He is in large amounts of debt. He is not paying his guard enough, so a lot of them have become mercenary. They leave the town or move with caravans, but there is not so much guard in the way anymore. The merchants are organizing themselves, much to the chagrin of Lord Astrid.
Oh, if then that might makes us feel a bit better about not taking the bounty. We wouldn't have seen the money anyway.
Indeed. Makes me wonder where they thought they were going to get it from. Anything else?
What else do you want to know?
So is there a leader of the merchants in the town? Is there someone who might usurp his position, maybe?
No, they just the economy keeps running. They just do not need someone at the top telling them what they need to do. If somebody steals from a merchant, then the merchant pays someone to unsteal. Or other merchants pay people to help that merchant, because then if that merchant is having a bad time, then they will all start having a bad time. It is a disorganized collective.
Sounds perfect to me.
Excellent. And the Steel Star, the bandity people.
The merchants do not care much. In fact, they somewhat like for summing the nose of, or biting a sum, or something with sums. I do not know. I don't have any.
Flipping them off, I guess, would be
Yes,
Yeah.
that also does not
there
quite
you go.
work because you need fingers for that. But yes,
But do you have flippers? I thought flippers.
Flippering,
Right,
flippering them off.
but then I would be flipping everybody off all the time.
Oh,
I just swear.
fair enough.
It is much more convenient and much more understood.
Indeed. So they're not bothered about the bandits. They're
No.
like, carry on, do your
They
thing.
barely
Did
think
you
of them
find-
as bandits.
Oh, what do they think of them as?
Well, it's just the word bandit does not really come into it. They're just, I don't know, stealing from Astron, so they don't care. They just call them the Steel Stars, or they are.
And did you find anyone who might have a contact with them?
No, from what I heard, they are mostly based on the other side of the Riage. They were guards, like I said before. Well, some of them were. The originals were, but they're probably not all anymore. But when you steal these documents, it is apparently reasonably easy to forge and get the other town to pay for things. Goods and services which never arrive, which Astron is on the hook for.
Is that why Asdrin is in debt?
Oh, maybe. That might be. That would make sense. Yes.
I like the sound of that. That seems like a incredibly reasonable thing to do to a self-appointed monarch.
I mean, yes, but no. I mean, really. I feel conflicted now. I wonder what
Depends on whether
happened.
the goods that need to get to the other town are needed. If they never get there and people are paying for it, then they're out of food or supplies and also out of pocket.
Oh, that is a very good point.
It does sound like a big city on the other side, and they keep on doing it, so hard to tell how bad the problem is.
I mean, to guess at the results of fraud in a city 100 miles away is very difficult.
Yeah.
Especially when we do not know the city. Or town.
Indeed.
I think it's a city. I'm not sure what the difference is.
Would-
A city has a big church of some sort.
He's
Get
not
on
gonna
trace.
remember. He's not gonna remember it in the morning.
Oh, right. Never mind.
would you like a bit of pet jerky?
I was gonna make dinner.
Ah, really?
Yes.
Get your hands
Oh.
off my pet jerky.
Well, if I
Help.
am feeling a
I'll
little
help.
hungry.
I'll help.
Oh,
It's fine.
yes. Yes, that would be lovely. Thank you, Philo. You've done an amazing job, I think. Yes, amazing job, as always.
Thank you. And now, for food. And he waddles through to the kitchen.
Mazia will go
keep an
with
eye
him
on
to
him.
help.
Yeah.
She's partly going to help, partly going to giggle, but mostly to help.
So yeah, like his cooking skills aren't diminished. His balancing of a dish and his choice of flavors. You know when you're drunk and you just pick up whatever's in the kitchen and just kind of put it together and that's a meal. He's doing that but with incredible skill. So it comes out tasting weird, but you can tell it's very well made. There is indeed some pet jerky sticking out the top of it.
like an ice cream flake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm interested. So are we still? We're gonna go with Matilda. Yeah, Matilda.
Yes.
Good, got it right. Yes. We're gonna go with her. Are we gonna go in advance? Are we gonna tell her, we'll go on a recce and try and make some contact with the Steel Star Militia before Matilda gets there?
Well,
that be a good
arguably,
idea?
Matilda will be the person who will get through easiest, being a merchant, and presumably a well-known merchant at that.
They will possibly attract too much attention of the bad sort. It'd be good if we could talk to Sintra before Matilda gets there. Otherwise,
If Center's got this
bad
cash
things might
flow,
happen.
if Center's got this cash flow from the other city, I don't feel like she has a need to waylay people in the pass except to get these documents out. So
She's not trying to stop the goods. She's just trying to stop the documents.
Yeah.
But
So if Matilda isn't carrying official documents, she's just a merchant, then it should be okay.
yes,
whereas I
but
suspect there's word that someone's going to be taking the official document out, and that's going to be us. So we'd better be careful
Yeah.
but
to make
Matilda
it,
has a lot of very expensive wares now. That expensive and rare wares,
that we have a stake in.
indeed. Honestly, I don't know how I'm only carrying 7 shins. I feel like I should have more on me. Anyway, yes, no, we probably should go ahead, but then we need to talk to Matilda. Oh, let's go to bed. I'll think about it. We'll sort it in
As
the
we
morning.
said, Matilda's going to want to know that there are bandits up there anyway. That's all she
Yes.
needs to know. And then we'll say we'll go ahead, and then if you talk to Lord Alstrin, get some official documentation, we attract their attention, we have a natter, figure it all out. It's going to be smooth. It's going to be fine. It's going to be great.
Yes, absolutely. Right. I'm going to bed. I suggest you all do the same. When you've finished your boots.
Who's carrying Philo?
Letty walks up, she cracks her neck, she puts a hand on Philo's neck and says, "Watch this." And I'm assuming Philo's like asleep on the couch or something. And she whispers, "Exemption transfer," and he floats up with her new flight skill. And
Amazing.
she like swaggers a little bit, and she sort of pulls him through to the room, just like, "Yeah, cracked it."
And then you hear this massive thump as he hits the bed.
As Merrin taps him.
Aaron just comes up behind and is like, yeah.
Poor Philo.
Taps him and runs out the room before he can.
I'm just imagining this like whoomp, and then the soft like whistly squeak of a penguin, all the air rushing out of this drunk penguin.
Oh.
Doesn't wake up.
Not even slightly.
Oh, I love Philo.
So, the evening draws to a close. I guess the early morning draws to a close as you all head to bed. Matilda, who's been keeping court in the inn the whole day, returns not long after Philo, actually. Less drunk, but quite drunk. And George comes in following with a ledger full of deals that have been made in the evening, and the kids who've just been kind of at their own devices throughout the town returned earlier. And the whole house sleeps soundly, safe in a town for the first time in a little while. The morning comes, the sun rises. You can see, as you step outside, the face of the Riage is very, very dark rock, barely kind of reflecting the morning sun. You can see some detail, but it's actually kind of hard to make out. But what you can see is Cedrin's Pass, this very small gap from this distance in the mountain. Matilda and the Marionette family as a whole start collecting their goods. Quick once round town to collect on the deals they made earlier. And George, while they're all out collecting stuff, hands you each a small sheet of paper, explaining how much you have made over the course of this leg of the adventure. You have made, between the four of you, 60 shins.
Hold on. 60 shins each or
Nope.
15?
60 shins. 15 each. Which is not an insignificant pay.
Doesn't feel very significant considering what we have been through.
Are you actually saying this, Tim?
No, I'm thinking that very much and will be saying that to the others once I get the chance to.
I want you to make an intellect to keep it off your face and out of your posture.
Come on, we're a bloody robot. Fine.
I'm not saying it's going to be difficult, but I just want to see if you get a 1.
Okay. I'm guessing social interaction.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
George is level 4.
I get a free thing anyway because it's intellect. So
we're down to a 2 or a 1?
18.
18. Yeah. Yeah. Poker face. It's itemized.
Not an itemized list of what's been sold.
Yeah, it's
Have they
itemized.
sold the ink? Have they sold the Dream Titan goo?
No,
And-
no,
What have they sold
It's
then?
just been-
not much.
Okay, so they're still holding on to the good stuff.
Yeah, the
Okay.
the
That's okay.
the Kaffa casings,
Yeah.
the ink, the goo. Yeah, they're all to be
Yeah.
sold in key.
Okay. Cool.
And the massive
sure.
contract for the massive pasture in the door.
That's where the 15 shins came from.
True.
That's basically it.
Cleegee's gonna just pop that at the back of the clipboard to be looked at another point.
Bizia like doesn't even look at it. She just like gets it and she just like shoves it in her pocket.
I totally will. I'll have a quick look over it. I'll say, George, when we get to Q, there's, 15 shins between us. It's wonderful. Good. It's great. It's good to be a part of this. But how much do you think you're going to get for the calf casing, and everything else? And do you think we will be getting? We've been through a lot with this.
Aye. You got us
We're
a.
hoping we'll be able to get, a good cut from here.
You will. Don't worry. The Kaffa casings will sell for a decent amount. I'm expecting somewhere in the region of 400 for the lot of them, and that'll be split. You'll get a good 50 of that, 50% that is, of that between you. Like collectively, it's 50 us, 50 you, because you did the collecting of that, so you get a larger share. The ink, similar. I'm expecting somewhere in the region of 100, so you'll get a good share of that as well. We don't know what we're going to get for the Dream Titan. We just had a contract that we would be able to sell it, and it would be a good price from a reputable contact. So I'm afraid I can't give you a number on that, but it should be in the region of upwards of 100, possibly to 500 for the lot of that. And again, you'll get a significant cut of that.
It's good to know. It's good to know this will go up from this 15 chin.
Aye,
Great.
aye.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, this is very much a collection leg of the journey you've joined us on.
I'm sure. Thank you very much. I'll pocket my 15 shins. Get my scarf and my hat ready.
Oh, so you want to collect your 15 now? That's absolutely fine. I just need to go in the lockbox.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, he turns around and takes the key from a chain around his neck, which you realise you have never seen before. He's kept it very, very secret.
We knew there was a lockbox there, right?
You knew there was a lockbox, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, unlocks it and passes out the shins for everybody who wants the cash now.
Letty refrains, partly because she has enough money and partly because she doesn't want to be seen wanting money from the lockbox.
That's fair.
Yeah, Mazir didn't even look at the thing. She just shoved it in her pocket and it just.
I'm totally scared. So I took my 15 shins.
I have 15 shins already. I don't know how you guys are so poor.
Yeah, I've got like 23 or something. God.
Clegy won't bother to collect at the moment. There are other things on his mind.
Shall we find the others and onwards?
Yes, I would like to talk to you and Matilda first, if that's okay.
Of course. There'll still be preparations to be done when we've got the carts back together. Rhodes needs to bring the Calyptor back into town. He doesn't like keeping them in town, so yeah. And a little while later, at the kind of mustering point for caravans to leave this area and go onwards through Cedrin's Pass, you meet back up with Matilda and George and the family as Rhodes is preparing the Calyptor, hooking them up to the carts. Philo, by the way, is feeling very good. They've got quite good metabolism when it comes to stuff like that. Turns out. He explains there is a lot of poison at the bottom of the sea, so we have a very quick metabolism, so we could get poison through very quickly. It comes in very handy when you are collecting information.
Yes. Any bruises or...
Oh, I have a cracking headache, but I can deal with it.
Good. Excellent. Matilda, George.
Aye?
So we've understand there's a group that sort of holds official documents hostage. So
Right, yeah, Steel Star, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had contact with them before?
No. I'm a familiar not a familiar face, but they know my face in this town, and I can pick up my own little bits of rumours and such.
Yeah. So I did agree to carry some official documentation for Lord Asdrin.
Right.
And my understanding is that will probably cause us to be stopped and may make things difficult for you.
I'm glad you said it first, because he pays well. If we can get it to the other side, they'll apparently pay. So we've got a few. Well hidden.
Matilda, you always
It's a
surprise
profit.
me in some way. Yes. Right, I have agreed to carry something for Lord Ashton. What would you recommend be the carriage fee?
Well, he said it was 50 if I got one of them across. So, yeah, hopefully.
And how were you going to get the money?
Oh, the thing says that it should be paid on receipt. The in Threest should be paid.
Right, by...
It's not coming from Azrin's coffers, which is why I'm not too worried about it.
That makes sense. Because, you know, I had heard.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I go and collect whatever he wants me to take, shall I act as a decoy to allow you to go through?
That could work. I've got several copies of the same one stashed in several places, so if one of them gets through, that's the message through. That's the plan, at least.
Right, excellent.
I can't imagine it'll be much different for you. So, yeah, by all means.
Indeed, I will. I'll just go and see him, and then we'll be good to go, I believe.
Of course. Yeah. You go to the same, not so much a palace, much more administrative buildings. A lot of the construction around here is not. It's a stone, but not the stone of the Black Riage. The stone of the Black Riage, you learn, is quite difficult to work. So they import stone from further south, this kind of sandstone thing. So it's a somewhat incongruous looking town. These sandstone blocks in a kind of slightly grassy, like steps of a mountain. It's very strange. But these office blocks you come to, you don't meet Lord Azrin himself, but you get shown to a table, an array of different sized and shaped what's the word? I lost the word.
Seals? Letters?
Letters, scrolls. Scrolls, letters, official documentation. Yeah, many of them. Take whichever ones you need, and one of them gets across, you should get paid.
Are they all the same?
They are all identical, yes.
Every one of these is absolutely identical.
They are somewhat different, only so that if multiple are found, they seem not like they're the same, but to the person on the other end, they all carry the same information.
Interesting.
And so if you hand two of them, you will only get paid once.
Fine. I will take that one, that one, that one, and that one. I'll pick up 4. I'll make sure they're all different. No, I'll get 2 that look very similar, and then 2 look very different, I think.
Sure, yeah. We can figure out what shapes they are later. The administrator nods at you and gets back to work, and you see he's actually just making more copies of these.
What, when I watch them, what are they using to make the seal?
You don't actually see them make the seal. He writes them out, and then it gets passed into a back room, and then several come back at once with a seal.
Interesting. Okay. I will wend my way back to Matilda and the gang.
Okay.
2-minute conflab.
Yes, please. We can't leave the caravan alone. This is too great a prize with the fact that we're carrying documents as well as all the other stuff.
Yes.
We're gonna have to have a chat with them.
Right. Well, I sort of shuffle us off into some sort of corner where I can see that there's nobody listening. I've
Yeah.
learnt from the whisper thing. Okay, I have 4. 2 are the same.
What did they say?
No idea. That's one question. Do we bother reading it? Second question. Do we care? Third question. Mazia, how deep are your
Yes.
pocket?
Which one?
Any of it? What's your deepest pocket?
She like throws her hand like I imagine she's probably spent the evening when we were chatting. She's like sewed some extra pockets in the clothes that Trenton kindly bought her. There's probably one that goes like all the way down her leg or something. Or you could shove it in here and pretend it's a cipher. I have the cipher bag. If one of them will fit in there.
Let's. Think that's risky. What happens if we take it out and the bag breaks? Then we lose ciphers.
And let's not put all our eggs in one basket. That's it. You know, it's not more secure.
Yes, deepest pocket and smallest one in the deepest pocket, please, Mazia. Okay. Anybody else want to take one?
He takes one and it just sort of disappears somewhere in her clothes.
I'll take one. I'll put it in my apron thing, surrounded by tools.
I feel one person should have 2 rather than everyone have 1. I feel everyone having 1 is very obvious.
Wow, what if I have none?
Then you should have
PG.
something that looks like one, maybe.
Clegy very subtly gets his clipboard out and then very carefully unfurls the paper to read what it says.
Would you make a might check, please? Might
A
defense
might?
roll. In fact, everyone needs to make a might defense roll.
Ow.
Can do I get anything from sense danger as she opened it?
Yes.
Excellent.
You see a little spark.
Oh
9.
my life.
9.
11.
My stats, I've just boosted my might by 1, and now I have a total of 8. 19.
19.
Oh. Can I put 2 levels of effort in, please?
Yep.
Actually, hold on. I'm putting 3 levels of effort in.
Okay.
It's a 4. 3 levels of effort might have been wise. Maybe not.
3 levels of effort was wise. Sorry, what did Trenton get again?
Rolled a 9.
A 9. That's a fail. Mazia?
11.
11.
With sense danger.
With sense danger as a success. It was a 4 you were looking for. As the thing just bursts in flame and like a significant little fireball, very short-lived, but enough to singe some of you.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Trenton, you just get a little singe, just one point of might because you weren't like holding it, but yeah. And yeah, Letty, you see it immediately. You see the spark. You know what that means. You realise that it's flash paper, and get out of the way.
He does the full Michael Jackson lean backwards.
Nice. Ah.
I mean, I was definitely going to do that to mine, so I'm glad that you did it to yours. But cool.
Right.
Okay, so now we have 3.
Do we know
No.
anything about opening them so they don't do that? Do you know, Letty? Do you know anything about this sort of paper?
If it's Numenera, we have a friend who could help us with it. And I've picked up a little of that talent myself, so perhaps. But if it's not, then, well, I can have a think and a look.
I don't think it is Numenera, though, is it? I think it's just a little clever device.
If I have a little look at it, I do. So this is an interesting one. I've got skills in like stealing and stealth and misdirection and understanding. Would these be things that I could use to help, or is this just stuff that I use to do it? If you know what I mean. Like, would a background knowledge in those things help me sort of figure out how to bypass one of these?
What skills again? Sorry.
I've got stealing, misdirection, manual dexterity, sleight
think
of hand.
Manual dexterity, sleight of hand. No, not sleight of hand. Manual dexterity would help opening it. It wouldn't help understanding it.
Right. Okay. Because that one is manual dexterity, stealing, performing sleight of hand, lock picking, and I guess stealing wouldn't, because it's not like I'm pickpocketing someone. Okay.
If you're going to try though, can I help you understand how it might work?
I'm gonna hold off for a little bit. I think we don't have a need to open it right now. We can have a think about it when we're on the road and not outside this guy's house.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll stash mine in my toolkit.
Okay.
I will first of all get rid of any of the remaining sort of ash or cinders from my clipboard. That's rude. And then I will the emissary letter that I have, I will roll back up, and I will have, I presume, yes, he will have like a ribbon seal that he can slide over the scroll that will make it look like an official document again.
Yeah, it won't match the seal of the others, but yeah.
It's still an official document, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I will carry that in a reasonably open way, I guess. Not obviously concealing it. And I will be carrying my clipboard with me.
Okay. The caravan is set up. The Calptor are hooked up and ready to go. Everyone is loading the last few bits and pieces that were delivered onto the carts and getting ready to leave. Matilda is nervy. She's standing, scanning the crowd, tapping her foot.
Can we see Merrin and the other kids?
Yeah, they're all there.
Matilda, are you okay?
And George.
I'm okay. Our bloody guide hasn't turned up.
I can probably
guide.
guide us. I looked at some maps and heard some stories. It's probably that way. We don't really need a guide. It'll be fine. I have full confidence.
Okay.
Who did you hire, out of curiosity?
Just someone recommended. He called himself Longfoot.
Did I,
Dunno.
in my investigations of hearing stories, did I hear any stories about Longfoot last night?
No, I don't think so.
Did Philo hear anything about a Longfoot? Or talk to a Longfoot?
Or be a Longfoot?
No, because he wasn't really looking at navigators. He was looking at internal
no,
town politics.
Yeah. Cool.
You know, actually, Mazia, give me a retroactive roll. See if you can remember. Intellect. We're going to call this a difficulty 6.
I had already rolled, so 14, and I get a free point of effort.
Okay. So yeah, no, you can't recall the name then.
No.
Right.
Well,
Matilda, would you like us to go and look for him?
Yeah, that'd be good. We need to get on. Gonna hand 5 shins to Mazia. If you can't find him, get a map and you are our navigator. I've seen you You've been paying attention. You and Alia will be able to do it. Probably. You've got us through worse scrapes.
It'll be fine.
It's just a single pass as far as I know. There's a few side passages, but they should be easy to avoid. At least they seem to be last time. We'll
It'll
see.
be fine.
We'll see.
Keep the eyes in the sky. I'm always here.
Good point. Useful. Yeah. Merrin was telling me.
Alright. Quick split up, look around. 20 minutes. Everyone head in a direction.
Who are we looking for? What do they look like?
He's maybe 50s, 60s. He had kind of long hair, but he was starting to bald on top. He had kind of a peak thing going. Yeah, that's all. I only met him briefly, but he was recommended.
Okay.
Where did you meet him?
It was in the inn last night.
Excellent. Okay. I'll start in the inn.
I am going to. I imagine that I spoke to some adventurer or some other sort of finders. I'm going to go and talk to them.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, can I ask if Matilda has? Did you already pay him?
No,
Matilda.
not yet.
Okay.
He was to get half here and half on completion.
Yeah.
I'll go to a town square if there is a town square.
Sure.
If we're not already in it.
Yeah, everybody who's doing search, give me an intellect roll. Mazia
that is a
gets
natural
an
20,
asset
so
and finds Longfoot. Navigator Longfoot.
Or is she a little bit disappointed that she found him? Possibly.
He,
Well, you found him. Doesn't mean you have to keep him. Remember, we're all split up.
he
Yeah,
is,
Mazir just kills him. Just goes, slits his throat, and runs out there. No.
he is
doesn't-
unconscious in a gutter, surrounded by empty bottles.
I found him. She looks around. She's like, "Oh, I don't know anyone here." How do I look like I? Do I think I can pick him up?
He's like very, very thin, but very, very tall. You might be able to.
Can I drag him?
That you could do.
I am going to drag him.
Okay.
You know, she's not trying to hurt him or anything. But it doesn't occur. You know, she didn't go very far. So yeah, she'll just sort of drag him sort of to the center, looking out for people she knows.
Yep. There are jeers as you drag him through the town. And yeah, eventually the rest of you hear the jeers and hear Mazir kind of just shouting out for you.
You hear Mazir and jeers, and I just Cleege is just like, shit.
And yeah, you find Mazir dragging this poor fella through the street. He's still unconscious.
Found him.
Yeah. I'm gonna hoof him over my shoulder.
Sure, yeah.
Fireman's lift off.
You are slightly taller, so you can just about get his legs off the ground.
Right. Well, back to Matilda. I'm sure she'll be delighted.
As you return to Matilda, and she looks him up and down. Right. Mazia, find a map. You're fired. Completely unconscious still. Put him down. Thank you for finding him. We'll make our own way.
Letty, do you want to just check whether he's got a map stowed on him or any other things?
Why are you asking me? All right.
Oh, stealing from an unconscious man.
At least check if he's got keys or something. I don't know where he lives.
Well, I meant in his pockets.
Yeah, that's what I meant as well. I'm just why every time somebody needs their pockets going through, everyone always looks at me. I don't know why that would be. An upstanding
It's because
citizen,
you've
as
got
I am
that
now.
thing where you can take things out of pockets without actually touching people.
Oh,
Yes.
see, I thought you were just being mean. All right, and she just sort of lifts her hand. Does he have anything on him?
He has very little money on him. He doesn't actually have any maps whatsoever. He does have a notebook.
Does it have anything useful in it?
Flicking through, it is descriptions of like moving through the pass, but only kind of very early expeditions he's made. It seems like he's been exploring all over and trying to find interesting places to go, but he ran out of money, and so he's come back here to the place he kind of grew up learning to do this.
Alright. Mazir's gonna give him his notebook back because, like, it's kind of a dick move taking a note like his like adventuring notebook. Like that's his dream. This is what he loves to do. So she's gonna tuck that back in there for him.
And Letty's just gonna like look at the money, sigh, and then just sort of like put her hand, and it all just scoots back into the various pockets it came from. Oh my god, my light! What is it doing? Sorry for the strobing,
It's so
everyone.
disturbed by Letty's actions.
The world has gone wrong.
Okay, let me. Is there somewhere that's not the inn that I could like take him just to like sleep off whatever he's taken?
Yeah, there's plenty of bunkhouses about. Actually, the navigators around here generally don't have like abodes. They like hostels kind of thing because they're only staying for a few nights before they go back.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's plenty of them around, and
Alright,
he can
I
just
will-
about afford something out of the change out of his pocket.
Yeah, I will hoof him over to the nearest hostel and sort out a bed for him.
Yeah, and he will much obliged.
Can I just smell his breath though, just before I leave him?
Yep. You don't catch anything untoward. Even if you made a roll, you wouldn't catch anything untoward.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Okay.
just drunk.
Ah, well, you missed out on something today. And I'll walk off.
Yeah. So Alia comes with Mazir to go and get a map to find something useful but interesting. She seems much more interested in interesting and beautiful, but you know.
Yeah, I imagine she like pictures. She finds this like beautifully ornate map, and Mazir's just like, no. It's not right. You can see. Look at that tree. There isn't even a tree there, and there's a tree. There's a big tree on the map. You don't want this one.
And it's also well out of your price range. It's in a frame and everything.
Oh.
But yeah, you all gather back, ready to go on under your own steam, without a navigator. And so onwards into the Riage, the Caliptor crunching their way through, and the wagons creaking as they have been the whole time. The little field underneath the wagons, just keeping. They're being weighed down quite heavily now. So this little field, which used to be floating them above the sand, is now just stopping the axles from breaking. The wind picks up as it is being funneled through this tall ravine, this pass, which has been carved through the Riage. This isn't a natural pass. This has been made. Not unlike the Clock of Kala, but less regular. You can see tool marks, and you can see, instead of it being taken out in one fell swoop, this has been very carefully, very meticulously made. Made smooth by the wind, but you can see tool marks still.
Wow. When do they think this past was created?
Stories say what it was actually. Well, before we turned up, it was one of the previous civilizations, apparently.
Oh.
I mean, there's been plenty of people who claimed it. I don't believe them.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, and we haven't found much that can do much damage to these, so getting through the whole bloody thing, either it'll take like 100 years, or someone's got something better.
What? Sorry, I think you did describe what colours are the rocks like? What do they look like?
They're kind of basalt black.
Okay.
That kind of very, very dark. They absorb a lot of light, but there's still a sheen to them.
And like underfoot, is it like smooth with like grassy things, or is it rocky?
Yeah, it's kind of pebbly, but there's tufts of like tough stuff poking through, and the actual pass is wider than the road. The road is this pebbly thing with tufts going through, and there's kind of scrubby grass along the edges, kind of yellowed because it only gets sun at certain times of day, so it's learnt to deal with very little sun.
And is it like a proper U, as in, are they vertical and then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are points where it leans and such, but yeah, mostly.
Can Mazir just spend a bit of time looking at the map and sort of comparing it to exactly what she's seeing to sort of double check how accurate she thinks it is?
Yeah.
And also sort of looking ahead at the map, but if she deems the map sort of relatively sensible to what it should be, looking to see where, if she was planning some sort of bandit ambush or sort of blockade or anything like that, she's going to try and like strategize where she would put it, and also possibly just the best way to get through would probably also be a good thing that she'll do.
Right. Yeah. Let's take a roll for that then. Let's call it an intellect. We're going to call this we're going to start at difficulty 5.
Right. So
I
I
am
am.
going to help with this.
Oh.
Sorry, I'll let you go ahead.
I was just going to say, so I'm familiar with the territory.
You are indeed.
I get a 3 point of effort. I have visual perception and survival, and also sense danger, I suppose, if that helps.
I'm putting visual perception and survival into 1. Sense danger doesn't count right now.
Alright.
And you get an asset for the map.
Excellent.
And Letty's going to float up, and she's got a skill that she's picked up observing Mazir in the first place, skill in lensing, which mostly she's been planning to use to help you fire beams better, but in this instance the air between her hands ripples slightly and she gets like a slightly better view of the world, and it's like it comes slightly more clearly into focus.
Very nice.
So that's how I'm helping.
Yeah. Which brings us down to a difficulty 0.
Hooray. And sort of while I'm doing this, can I be trying to describe it to
Alia.
Thank you. I was thinking Alicia, and I was like, that I know that's not right. And you know, I don't want to be boring, and if she's not interested, Mazir's, but if she shows any sort of interest in sort of what Mazir's doing, she likes sharing this sort of knowledge and stuff. So she'll sort of be giving her some like little bits of instructions and tips and.
Yeah. Sorry, could you repeat that bit? What Letty said. She seems much more interested in what Letty's describing from the bird's eye view than what you're describing about the actual like.
Entirely fair.
Yeah. She is after all an artiste.
Yeah, is she able to draw what Letty's saying?
She's not doing a bad job. Like, she's obviously like interpreting words, so it's not accurate, but not completely accurate. But yeah, it gives the same kind of feeling.
When we're out of a bit of danger, I might see about taking you up to have a look if you're interested.
Oh,
It's an offer. You don't have to say yes or no.
I want to say yes. You haven't fallen yet. You haven't. We'll do it. Can we do it little by little?
For sure. And I've not got. I want to conserve my strength in case things.
Aye,
pop off for the time being. But
yeah. Cool.
I'm not sure your ma would be happy with us rocketing into the sky right now either.
You hear from the front of the caravan. Not unless you're serious about what you're doing. There needs to be a good reason for it. And continue the conversation with George. And so, a few days pass like this. Not much in the way of detour, not much in the way of anything, really. The occasional caravan passes the other way. One slightly kind of larger one, several merchants travelling together. And they bring stories, and you hear about the Steel Star. They are stopping everybody, but letting most people through. They're only doing like cursory searches. They don't even seem to really care very much anymore. They're just kind of going through the motions. Yeah, it's very strange.
If we're spending a couple of days, will I be able to use some XP to gain a skill?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Has Matilda? I'm assuming I'm going to make a huge assumption here. Matilda has sort of restocked up on some ciphers and stuff. Am I able to go through her new cipher stash and see if I can create something new?
Yeah, I think so.
Yay! What would you like from me then?
I would like for you to explain to me how the rules work for this.
Crafting Numenera. I'm specialised in that. I am going to try and make... Now, hold on, I've got to think of what I want to make.
Yeah.
What do you think she would have picked up in that sort of town place, cipher-wise?
Honestly, because it's such a nexus, it would be a super wide range of stuff. Although it would probably be the more dishevelled stuff, because they'd get a better price for it over the Black Riage.
Okay, so I'll have a look through the stuff. Obviously, I'm going to use the bits that are like slightly more run down, don't look like they'll be up for much.
Yeah.
And I need a... Can I make... I don't want to make an objective. Can I make some sort of like object from it? I can't remember how specific I have to be, Ed. That's my problem.
What do you want to use it for?
I guess... I would like to use it to be some sort of like super secure storage.
Security, storage, safety. Cool.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going to roll the die and add 3 for every skill you're using. And we're going to work it out from there. Gonna figure out what's going on.
So yeah, crafting is 2, and then I've got an automatic effort.
Yep. So we're adding 9 currently.
And then I'll add in 1 more effort, because that'll only cost me 1 point. And then I'm rolling.
You don't. Okay.
And it's an 18.
Damn. That's very good. So you find several parts of some kind of smart metal that changes shape when you apply current to it. But then it stops changing shape, and you realise that it fixes itself in place. And you figure out in its current state how to undo that. But you quickly put together this thing which A small metal plate, when placed on something, will encase it entirely in metal, covering the surface, and it cannot be removed without destroying it. The metal. So it keeps it very safe.
Nice. I like that.
And roll a d6 and add 4 for the level.
Okay, come on. Which one's going to be the lucky D6? Oh, you are the lucky one. I rolled a 6.
It's a level 10.
Whoa! Cleege's going to be super psyched. What would we call this, please?
I've just got it down as metal patch.
That'll do me. Thank you.
So yeah, tinkering over a few days, you managed to pull together this thing. The reason you could undo it before, and you can't undo it when you set it off, is because the little device is on the inside of the metal. The thing you have to turn it off.
Yeah.
And that's how you keep it safe, by putting the lock on the inside.
No. Oh, well excited. Thank you.
Mazia, would you take 2 experience points?
I'd love to, Ed.
Okay.
I'd love to.
Take one and give someone else.
Yeah. I will give one to my lookout. My slightly floating kite sort of lookout.
Very nice. These few days have been uneventful, and indeed this campsite is fairly uneventful. The wind blows and the fire crackles, and you realise that you didn't set any of these tents up. These tents were already here, and as the rest of the caravan comes to catch up as you went on ahead, Matilda narrows her eyes and looks at the campsite. Did you put this up?
Nope.
Right, so whose campsite is it?
It's not on the map.
Right.
Looking at sort of where it is on the map,
Yeah.
does it look like it would be a good vantage point for some sort of ambush and or stopping point? To choke point. That was the word I was looking for earlier.
Give me a roll for that. I'm going to call this a difficulty 5 again.
Alright. So...
You've got the map.
Got the map.
Danger sense.
Sense danger. Visual perception. Survival?
I think I'm going to count that with visual perception again.
Fair enough.
What's your hunch about this?
Well, I suppose I'm looking to see. Okay, this is how I'm using my survival. Is I'm looking to see if there are recent tracks. If this is an old camp, if there's a fire, has it been recently put out? Basically, what I want to know is this a group of people who were camping here and were stopped, or is this the camp of people who are about to stop us?
Okay. So the reason I was asking was because if you wanted to do an impulsive or right or an impulsive and wrong roll, you'd have to make an opinion about one of those.
No, I'm.
You're not going to make an opinion, so you're not going to get it.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, we're down to a 1. So just a 3 or more.
An 8.
An 8. Yeah, it looks like it was fairly recently, more like a day ago. Actually, yeah, a day ago, but it doesn't. It was definitely abandoned. It was definitely not put away. It was definitely not, left for someone else to use.
Are there any signs of any sort of struggle or anything?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are.
I will warn everyone quickly that this is possibly not a very friendly place to be. Is there any signs of blood or anything? How violent a struggle am I?
You're not, hang on, sorry. Let me check something, because I'm actually reading off notes now.
Are you still in the air? Is Lex still in the air?
I can be, if people want me to be.
GM Intrusion, no, this was end of the day as you were just setting up for camp.
Okay, cool.
Sorry. Yes. There isn't actually any blood. It
Okay,
looks like there
so-
was a fight and people escaped. You find large packs, actually, full of food and water, full of rope spikes and so forth. A cipher, a couple of bedrolls. You know, bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Mazia,
Yes.
what do you think has happened here?
Well, they were ambushed, or possibly in the night, looking at, or they weren't expecting this.
Can you see what direction whoever did this came from?
Ed?
Give me an intellect. Another intellect. Your survival helps here. Your visual perception helps here. So, this campsite, by the way, is a little ways off the main path. There's a little kind of path to it, and you can see the path continues on, but it gets quite thin.
And if it's an intellect roll, I have a free point of effort. That's another nat 20. This is the dice. This is the dice. I've recently changed out my dice, and this is clearly the dice.
Nice.
It is.
So yeah, the attack came from the same direction that you've just come from, and the escape was done further up. The footprints lead of the attacker lead through the purple flowers that were in the pass you've just come through, and the footprints you can see look quite deep. And
So
not
something quite heavy.
Not boots.
Perhaps automaton.
A splayed foot.
What sort of feet do automatons have, Trenton?
Hands on the feet that they're fitted with.
Do they look like that?
Does it look like it could be a metallic object? Or like an automaton's leg rather than something organic? No, that was a question to Ed, sorry.
Oh,
Does
sorry.
Does it look like it's organic, or it looks like it's a metallic kind of?
Give me an insight roll. Because it's actually kind of difficult to tell.
Yeah, and I only rolled a 4, so I probably won't have a clue.
Yeah, it really is difficult to tell. Like, it's segmented, but that could be an automaton, or it could mean some kind of scaled creature.
Yeah. There could be things out here that have those footsteps, but yes, it could be an automaton. I'm sorry, I can't really tell just by the footsteps.
Problem with
Can you-
automatons, I suppose. Animals are easy.
SPG?
Can you
No.
you see where like the people went?
Yeah, they went that way. I can probably follow them. They were kind of in a hurry, so they left some tracks.
Kind of a thinning pass through the mountains, kind of north.
Yeah. I could probably follow them. I mean, it doesn't, from what I can see, they weren't really trying to hide their footprints. And if they were doing a really bad job of it. Really bad, really shoddy.
And
Who
a
would
couple
we be
of crossbow
following?
bolts now that you notice in some small trees that are around.
I can suddenly see why it was shoddy. They were... This isn't good.
What direction did they come from? Behind?
Yeah, whoever attacked, I think it's just one, looking at the footprints, and I'm looking at Ed to confirm, I think it was just the single attacker?
Looks like it.
A single attacker. How many tents are there? Like 4 or 5?
Yeah, 3 or 4. Yeah, that kind of
Yeah.
not tons.
Single attacker, multiple victims, but none of them were killed, and they all ran away and left their stuff, and they ran away through that small path.
And the
Actually,
stuff wasn't taken as well.
Yeah.
you notice, Mazia, with your natural 20, that the number of footprints leaving doesn't match the number of bags, the number of tents, the number of bedrolls. Fewer people went away.
You're right, Trenton. Other than that one person who was clearly kidnapped. I mentioned that, didn't I? Yeah, they got someone.
Huh? What?
There's a pack missing. 7 footprints, 8 footprints, 9 footprints, 10 bags. 1 less bag. 1 more bag. Yeah, they got someone. I probably should have started with that. Sorry.
Did that person not have just gone somewhere else? I mean, is it a bit of an assumption they've been kidnapped? Maybe they just went in a different direction.
Or as a former bandit, I'd say that they had someone on the inside who left with their attacker.
No, there's only 1 set of footprints that way.
That's what I'm... Oh, right. Then where did this extra person go?
Picked up by a giant automaton. It's my guess.
We had
they
a look in
flew.
the tent.
I imagine I'd confuse some people if they were trying to track us.
Yeah, Mazia's kind of gone through the tents, but you can go through and you find, bags and, camping gear, basically. A few little bits and pieces, a cipher and a couple of oddities.
Could we grab those?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because we want to return them to the owner when we find them.
Correct.
Yeah. I'll have a look at the cipher, please.
Yeah, it is a frigid wall projector
Which is a wall project.
Yeah.
Sort of horizontal.
that slows people who come through it.
Ah.
Gives them kind of disadvantage on speed checks, things they need to... Well, it would be an asset for you to hit them, that kind of thing. Things they need to be quick with, they're not good at.
Love it.
How about those oddities? Anything weird?
Yeah.
Love a weird. I love oddities. I don't mess with oddities enough because they're so weird.
They
Yeah.
are so weird.
You've got a pair of small blue discs that, as you kind of put your hand near them, they pull towards your skin, and as they touch you, they're nice and warm, but they are a bitch to pull off. Lovely hand warmers. They give like decent warmth. So yeah, it's nice to have in your gloves, but they're just very hard to pull off. And the other thing is, you found a little box, like a cardboard box, with a stone snail in it that grows mushrooms instead of a shell.
What?
Oh, what?
I actually want that in real life.
It is moving.
Yeah, that's so cute.
It does seem to be ambulatory, I guess.
If I give it like a leaf to
Ambulatory.
eat, will it eat it? Does it have a mouth?
No.
Huh.
And actually, as you look at it, it's doing the same actions over and over. It is a little automaton.
Well, I love this.
Ooh.
Can we keep it?
Yeah.
We'll
should name it.
keep it for safekeeping.
Yes.
How dark is it now?
Not as dark as you expected it to be. The sky's violet.
It's unusual.
Purple. I don't like purple.
Just gonna say that.
It hasn't been our lucky colour, has it?
You want me to go up there, or are we sticking together?
Well, I would like to know what's going on, but I worry that if you go up there, it will make it very obvious that we're here. If someone's watching us, or even not watching us and happens to see a floating person.
So maybe we bait and trap. Is that the right term? We look like we're setting up camp, but we're wary and we're ready for intruders.
Like that? Yeah.
Mazia?
Plans? Yes. I could just go and see what's down there.
You could, but what if that's what
Might be
they
a trap.
want?
Yeah.
But then I'd know what's down there.
But then we wouldn't have you to tell us what's down there.
It's a good point. But I'd know.
Yes, but we wouldn't, and we'd have to then go look for you. And the problem is, none of us are as capable of looking for you as you are looking for yourself. Oh, actually. Oh no, it's fine. You can carry on.
Huh?
I actually bothered to fix it. Look, there's a Trenton. Look, there's a Mazia. Letty,
Nope.
are you sure?
I'm thoroughly sure.
I can just.
Nope.
It takes mere seconds.
Mere seconds, uncomfortable, a very uncomfortable mere seconds, and permanent. You can look at wherever I am. No, thank you.
Permanent? I mean, you can take it out at some point. Anyway, fine. I did. Look, I even got Philo to agree. Look at him. I hope that's cooking.
He is going to give you an experience point and another one. You take one, give one to somebody else.
Me?
Yeah.
God. Okay, I'll take one. I'm going to give one to Trenton because I think we're going to need him.
Philo is significantly further away than you expected. Significantly. So much so that Mazia, looking at it, would expect him to be on the entire other side of the pass, actually embedded in a wall somewhere. That seems very wrong. And as you look around, you realise you've only got half the caravan with you. You've only got Matilda, George, Rhodes, and Alia. Aldo, Merrin, Nimchek, and Philo are not with you. And that is where we're going to end for this evening.
No, what?
Yeah. Why is it always a cliffhanger? Why?
Because I don't know any other way to end these. And to be fair,
Sky.
this one was a setup session, so...
Purple Sky and missing caravan and missing Philo.
Yeah.
Well, not
I know
missing.
where he is, at least.
Yeah, true.
No, we have a tracker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's halfway through a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Oh my god. We should call the famous five or something. This is insane.
Yeah, this is a fun one. This is a nice little adventure I've been wanting to run for a while.
Yeah, we finally got there.
Well, thank you all for
Thank
playing.
you very much.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad the stream held up. We're only at
Yeah.
18.6% dropped frames. It's actually higher than I expected, but yeah, no, it seems to have been fairly stable.
I hope so.
I hope so.
Hope so.
It's hard to tell from here.
It will let us know.
Yeah. If you enjoy our particular brand of chaos, and you aren't already, you should join us in the Discord. Lots of good chat going on. We are currently organising for Dragon Meet in London, which should be fun. What else is going on? We've got the usual benefactor on Friday. I think we're kind of keeping things light for the end of the year because it all gets a bit wild around December. So it's just us and the benefactor going on at the moment. Please.
But speaking of other shows, you can find other shows that we have run for quite a long time. Our various campaigns. There's Blades in the Dark. There's all sorts, and you can find all the VODs for this campaign itself at our YouTube page.
I promise I will put together last week's. I downloaded them just before this, so we're good. I will put that together and upload it soonish. I don't think there's anything else to be done. No?
A little raid, maybe?
A little raid, maybe? Yeah, stick around for a little raid. We will organise that in a second.
Maybe we can have little raid as a treat.
It's a treat. Thank you all for playing. Thank you all for watching. Pleasure as always. We will see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.